the role of Indonesia in BRICS, because we also have a huge populations, 270 million people, and the middle class is growing in Indonesia, meaning that we do not want to be exploited by a certain group of countries. Countries can exploit our markets, but at the same time, we want to also exploit markets of other countries, because Indonesia wants to open up a lot of jobs, and this has been the policy of the previous President Joko Widodo, which is what we refer to as downstreaming on our natural resources, such as nickel. And this has been opposed by Western countries, the European Union. So why should we abide to the norms that the European countries wants us to do, including our palm oil, for example. We know that there's a huge market in Europe, but we are unable to sell our palm oil because there are requirements placed by European countries, which is not does not make us easy to sell our products. So I think BRICS is an alternative. And you have to also bear in mind that nowadays, because of the war in Ukraine, Russia, for example, they wanted to sell oil to Indonesia in a very competitive price. But when we want to buy those oil, because we are badly needed the refined oil, we were asked by the OECD countries not to do so. And because the OECD countries have issues with Russia in Ukraine. So if we stay at the OECD or we belong to these Western countries, we are unable to buy a competitive price of oil. That's why we need to have BRICS, so that with BRICS we can buy from Russia, and this is for our national interest. The subsidy from the government to the people on the oil prices is very huge, and if we buy a very high oil, the high price of oil, then it's going to be very difficult for the government to run the welfare to the people. So this is why we need to have BRICS. At the current stage, countries are they feel disappointed of the OECD, of how the Western European countries run the world economy, also the United States. They usually have double standard. For one thing, they said, yes, it is okay, but for the same issue but different actors, it's going to be different. So what we need is an alternative. For example, we know that the war in Ukraine and also the war in Gaza, when we are dealing with Russia, the European, US will say that Russia should be condemned. But when we ask US and some Western European countries to stop the war in Gaza by Israel, they say, no, it is the right of self-defense of Israel. I mean, that is a kind of double standard that I think the world think that this is enough, this is too much. So they need to have a group, other block, that can be an alternative. And BRICS offer that alternative. BRICS, of course, they are head-to-head with the OECD countries, and as a country that have the free and active foreign policy, we are free to choose whether at the same time we are going to be a member of OECD, but also the member of BRICS. Well, probably not in local currency, but other currency that is an alternative to the US dollar currency. What we want to see is, either China is going to, propose renminbi to become an alternative currency, because we know the Chinese economy is, at the moment, is very solid, and we want country being used the currency is a solid country. So, but the most important thing is we will not be dependent on US dollars anymore. We can use other currency. For example, on energy issue, as I mentioned, Indonesia now a net importer country of oil. So we need to buy oil, if possible, in a very competitive price. So where do we get that from? Well, Russia is offering that. And this is because Russia is being embargoed of selling their oil to Western European countries. So the idle capacity can be bought by Indonesia. Hopefully that we can have sufficient energy so that we're going to be more dependent on our energy. And secondly, we need to learn from China because they are using various things based on electricity. And now the electric vehicle is very popular in Indonesia, and we want to have more electric vehicle in Indonesia, so that we are going to be self-sufficient on energy. As to the food energy, of course we want to become a country that can be self-sufficient on various food for the people, especially rice. This is very important, and we can learn the technology from other BRICS countries, but also we can have them come over to Indonesia and then teach us Indonesia on how to develop more areas